was about to say, I'm just waiting on YouTube. Ciao, hi, hey, hola guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. I'm finally back with another video. Yesterday and last night, all of yesterday really, I really struggled to get motivated. I just was sleeping quite a lot, and I was watching too much YouTube and not making my own YouTube or whatever, not making my own videos, but watching too much drama and things like that on YouTube, to be fair, to be honest with you. But yeah, so I'm back anyway. But yeah, I did want to talk. I did want to find out about 40 black, especially African politicians, and talk about those. But I didn't get around to it, so I'm behind schedule. And on that note, I was thinking, like, I'm worried about. It's a first world problem, I guess. But I think there's so many things I want to get done this month. So many things I want to talk about, at least. So many talking points I want to talk about, and just basically to discuss those. But I'm hoping I get around to them tomorrow. I'm hoping, as it's the 21st as well, to go through my YouTube. It's a lot easier on YouTube, I think, because it's sort of like listed all the videos I've made, and see ones that I haven't worked on yet, and well, I haven't finished, like when I've done part 1 and not 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. So yeah, hopefully I'll do that tomorrow. But anyway, today's topic is about how I want to empower the black community, especially in America, or in the Americas, especially America itself, on Fridays, and the theme of Fridays. I know normally I'm a bit too obsessed with alliterations, so I say things that begin with F, the family-friendly version, in this case, and also like, well, fun and that kind of thing, mainly things that begin with F, and maybe a few other things. But anyway, with that being said, having said that, these are pointers number 1 to 10 as per usual. And I was thinking that next week, I can't remember if I did the Thursday version or not. I think I did, pretty sure I did, but I'm not 100% sure. So next week, maybe I'll do the political thing that I meant to do yesterday, black politicians. But anyway, I'll see how it goes on. But one thing I was going to say is I'm a bit wary about making too many videos, because I'm wary about people getting too many notifications or whatever. But as ever, I'd love to know your opinions, and I hope you'll share the video and like it and that kind of thing. And I'm going to try and crack on with it before I go to a team morning and that kind of thing. So, or afternoon or whatever. Anyway, here goes. So these are pointers number 1 to 10. So number 1, I'm thinking about things that begin with F, again, the family-friendly version. Generally speaking, so things like black people in finance, financial support for the black community in America, especially, and around the world, but especially in America, and black people in different fields, maybe ones that begin with F, like filmmaking, film producers, directors, and things like that. I think that covers everything for point number 1. But yeah, so those sorts of things that begin with F, generally speaking. But yeah, I'd love to know how you would empower the black community, and if you would do it just the same each day, or would you have a different theme for each day or whatever. And once again, I'd love to know what you think about, like, even like my use of alliterations. Do you think it's a good organizational system, or do you think I should probably mix it up a bit more or whatever? But yeah, any other views you have, I'd love to know. And again, if you're sharing the video and if you like the video and all that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments as well. And just talk about anything else you want me to know in the comments. And I hope we'll share ideas and that kind of thing. And moving on to number 2, as I say, things that begin with F, and I hope to think about those. And again, I'd love to read other people's views and ways to empower the black community. Like, I'm thinking about financial empowerment on Fridays. So yeah, how can we help black people financially? And help me to stop fiddling with my glasses, sorry. But yeah, I'd love to know any ideas and suggestions you have. Number 3, I'd love to interview. That's one thing I forgot to say in the intro, and possibly in part 1, I guess. But I'd love to interview members of the black community, maybe through Zoom. Is it Discord? I don't know how to use that, but maybe finding out different systems of communicating with members of the black community, especially in America. It'd be difficult for me from the UK. But on Zoom or whatever, it won't be that difficult. I guess it makes the world a lot smaller in many ways. You can connect with each other. Like, people say it's a small world, but I think it's quite a big world when you look at it. But yeah, the internet makes things a lot smaller, though. It does make it a smaller world. So it'd be just as easy to communicate with an African American person as it would be a black person or a minority person from Britain, for instance, because it's almost like you're in the same room, even though you're on the other side of the world, so to speak. But yeah, I'd love to ask members of the black community, the black diaspora, especially in America, but all around the world really, what freedom means to them. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. And I know I've talked about thinking about freedom, tax cuts, tax exemptions for the black community, and things like that. So yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. To me, the more money you get to keep of your own money, the more freedom you have, the more free you are. And as a libertarian, I love to support freedom for everyone really. To be as free as possible, to have as few rules and laws as possible, and to allow people to do more of what they want to do with their money, effort, energy, time, body, or whatever. But yeah, I'd love to know from different black people like what freedom means to them as individuals and maybe even as a group, common themes or whatever. It might be different for each individual. And again, tax cuts like the right to privatization, deregulation of industries, lower tax and things like that. That to me is that kind of freedom. But again, I'd love to know different people's views, not just my own. So I hope that any members of the black community, especially in America, would be interested in like discussing things on Zoom or whatever platform they find easiest to use. Obviously, it'd be very hard for me to travel all the way to America unless they're coming to Britain. It'd be hard to meet up, but online it'd be a lot easier, of course. Almost infinitely easier, probably. But yeah, I'd love to ask and say what freedom means, and again, people can post in the comments. But I'd love to interview members of the black community to say like, this is what freedom means to me as a black person, or again, it could be individuals, or it could be as a group. It'd be interesting to see. Some might have different views. They might say, even though I'm an African American, I think very differently to other African Americans or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see if they have a common ground or whatever. I know there's some videos on YouTube about like whether members of certain groups think the same or not. Well, that's Native Americans or the black community or whatever. But yeah, what freedom means to black people. And again, I'd love to. I was going to say, trying to remember my train of thought, but I was thinking that whether that's a one-to-one interview and or as a group as well. I'd love to do street interviews and things like that in the future as well. But again, in America, it'd be hard. So I'm not very good at traveling anyway. But I'm sure for most people, it'd probably be hard just to fly out to America. If I was more independent and had the finances, I'd probably fly to America in February and try and empower the black community. But at the moment, I'm trying to do so online. But anyway, I'm going to move on to point number 4, which is I was thinking about what if Forbes did a special list on the 100 or whatever, or 400 or 500 or 1,000 or whatever richest black people in America or even around the world. So what if Forbes and Fortune magazine did things like that? And talking about Forbes and Fortune, it'd be interesting to find out about black people on Forbes and Fortune, and maybe Forbes magazine and Fortune magazine covering black entrepreneurs and things like that, and helping to raise their profile, which hopefully will inspire other people, other African American people, and that kind of thing. Yeah, it'd be interesting how many black people are in Forbes, how many black people are in Fortune 500 companies, like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and in high-powered positions and that kind of thing. Number 5, I'd love to support black ambition generally on a daily basis, really, in February. And that includes in areas like farming, finance, business, banking, films, producing, directing films, and being involved in films generally, and that kind of thing, and salute and celebrate black people's achievements in film and TV and that kind of thing. I know I can think of like the Fresh Prince, but there, I think the Osmonds or something, I think, or something like that was an African American sitcom. So it'd be interesting to find out more about those things. And on that note, if you know any facts, think about another word that goes F, if you know any facts and general info, well, that doesn't sound whatever, but about African American history and Black achievement, please post them in the comments. That could be globally, but especially in America itself. And number 6, another thing that begins with F, like football. I know I've mentioned how I'd love for Italian teams like Inter Milan, AC Milan, and teams like that, Fiorentina, Frosinone, and even the national team perhaps, and Roma and teams like that, to have football, or as they would call it, soccer in America, academies and sports clubs and that kind of thing, and investment from African Americans, investment and sponsorship and that kind of thing from African Americans. So supporting as fans and as financial sports. So how can Italian soccer or football or whatever you call it, I'll say football because it's Friday, football Fridays, how can they connect more with African Americans and members of the Black community and the Black diaspora? How can they improve race relations through footy or whatever you want to call it? So yeah, that'll be a mutual benefit as well. And I'd love to celebrate success stories of Black people in football, both types of football, I suppose. Think about African Americans, the American equivalent of football or whatever, as well as soccer, that type of football, and also in athletics as well, and things like that. Maybe basketball and other areas, of course, as well. Again, given my use of alliterations, I think more of that on Saturdays and Sundays, like sports Saturdays and Sundays and that kind of thing. Number 7, similar for Celtic. I look for more African Americans and Black people around the world, and POC generally, to support Celtic, and again have academies. Celtic to have academies and supports clubs and things like that for African Americans and Black people around the world, and to continue to challenge racism as the club does, and hopefully therefore also again acquire investment and sponsorship, as I say, just like with Italian football, for Celtic. So again, hopefully that will be a mutual benefit. I know it wasn't a very good result, so for those who are not in football, but it wasn't a very good result yesterday in Europe. But in many ways, I want to go out of Europe so they can focus on the domestic games and hopefully win at least a league. Ideally, we can come back in the league and win that, and hopefully even win a double. I wanted us to win a treble, but it's a shame we lost a final against them. Moving on, number 8, seeing again how Black people and their allies can support them financially, that kind of thing, and have support networks. And I think of things like, I've seen one like what do you call it, a picture, and there could be clothing as well, I guess, that says, like, I think someone did have a jumper or a t-shirt that says something about dyslexia, and it says this person loves someone with dyslexia and they make them proud every day. And I thought the Black community could have similar things to have support networks and that kind of thing. Yeah, there could be clothing ranges and things like that. And I think FUBU, for us, by us, could be more expanded. I don't know if that brand still exists, but it could be it could be remade if it doesn't exist anymore, and expanded to support Black-owned products and like selling different merch, clothing, and things like that. And number 9, as I say, I love to support Black farmers and Black people in different fields. Again, due to my obsession with alliterations, especially ones that begin with F and that kind of thing. And number 10, also to help young Black people financially. I'd love to fundraise for supporting young Black entrepreneurs, young Black people to be able to take the plunge and become entrepreneurs and take a risk. And I think the earlier you start a business, the better, because you can learn from your mistakes, which you're bound to make. And people like Damon John could help young entrepreneurs to learn how to run a business or whatever, mistakes to avoid and things like that. And I think that goes there for now, and I'm out. Peace and love.